Welcome, curious minds, to a world of knowledge and discovery. Greetings, explorers of knowledge. Join us as we embark on a quest to understand David Zdrilic. David Allen Zdrilic, born 13 April 1974, is an Australian Association football coach and former player, who is currently the head coach of a League Men club, Perth Glory. Zdrilic is also a football presenter on the special broadcasting service SBS. Most recently, he was a key figure in his coverage of the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia. Zdrilic played on 30 occasions for the Australian national soccer team, having once scored 8 goals in a single match, the second highest recorded for any Australian player, behind Socceroos teammate Archie Thompson, who scored 13 goals in the same game. He was also a member of the Australian national beach soccer team, the Beach Socceroos, having captained the side. He previously played for Sydney FC in the league after forging a professional career in Switzerland, Germany, England and Scotland. As a football presenter on the special broadcasting service SBS, Zdrilic hosted the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil, which won a Logie Award for Most Outstanding Sport Coverage, as well as his Friday Night League coverage. He has hosted games from the UEFA Champions League, Europa League, various international cup competitions and the football entertainment show Thursday FC on SBS. Over the last few years, Zdrilic served in a variety of coaching roles in Germany, Belgium and Italy and the MLS. In early 2022, he became an assistant at Serie A club Genoa, the first Australian to coach in Serie A after turning down the offer of coaching Australia at the 2024 Olympic Games. Now, let's shift our attention to early years. Zdrilic attended Patrician Brothers College, Fairfield and St Patrick's College, Sutherland. During his time as a teenage schoolboy, he featured prominently in all teams, including the grade squad. He had the opportunity as a child to pursue a tennis career, receiving coaching and playing in tournaments, but chose football instead. After playing through the youth ranks for St George Saints, he broke into the senior side in 1993 at the age of 19. Midway through the NSW Super League year, he signed to Sydney United for the coming National Soccer League season. He made an immediate impact shortly after joining the club, scoring 4 goals in 4 games in a pre-season cup competition. However, he played most of his first NSL season playing as fullback, netting only once for the year. Zdrilic's versatility meant he was often used in different positions, and during the seasons, he was more often among the goal scorers. It was in the season that for the first time Zdrilic was used as an out-and-out striker and eventually took out the Golden Boot, scoring 21 goals in 26 games. During this time he studied a law degree at Sydney University, working full-time at a Western Sydney law firm with his footballing duties. It was not until this NSL season that his footballing career rose to the next level. Zdrilic's first call-up to the national team came in January 1997. After the appointment of Terry Venables as the new Socceroos coach, Australia hosted the Optus Cup, a 14 tournament including an Australian squad of domestic-based players. In forming the squad, Venables had asked who's the leading scorer in the NSL. The answer being Zdrilic, having scored 12 goals in as many games, and he played all 3 matches. He continued his scoring ways in the NSL to win the Golden Boot for that season with 21 goals, United topping the table before losing the grand final to Brisbane. Without wasting any more time, let's jump into the fascinating world of in Europe. His position atop the Australian League attracted attention in Europe, particularly in Switzerland, with an offer to join Grasshoppers accepted, where he would initially be loaned out to Aura. After 1 season at Aura, he moved to German side SSV Ulm 1846, newly promoted to the 2nd division. Ulm's strong season with Zdrilic a regular starter and scoring 12 goals for the season saw them promoted again into the Bundesliga, the club's first appearance in the top flight. Now playing in a top European league, he earned a recall to national side in early 2000 for a tournament in Chile. Zdrilic was injured as a result of a bad tackle in the final minutes of Australia's game against Bulgaria, and he returned to Ulm injured. He again rejoined the side in June as Australia hosted a 3-match series against Paraguay, which he scored his first international goal in a win. Zdrilic remained with the side for the 2000 OFC Nations Cup, adding to his goal tally twice against Cook Islands. Returning to club duties, with Zdrilic out injured for much of the season due to the knee injury he sustained on international duty, Ulm had been relegated back to the second division and Zdrilic sought to remain in the top league. Despite the injury, Zdrilic scored 6 goals in 13 Bundesliga starts for Ulm and moved to Unterhaching. The club struggled for consistency through the season and was eventually relegated, Zdrilic remaining with the club on its return to 2. Bundesliga. Haching continued to struggle for results in the season, relegated again at the end of the year. In contrast to club fortunes, Zdrilic was achieving greater success at international level throughout this time, becoming a regular inclusion in an Australian side under Frank Farina. He was recalled for a friendly against Scotland to replace the injured Mark Viduka, scoring in a memorable victory at Hampden Park. He retained his place in the squad for the Oceania World Cup qualifiers. In Australia's second match of the tournament, he scored 8 goals in a world record win over American Samoa. He and his strike partner Archie Thompson, who scored 13 goals, broke the record for most goals scored in a senior international match. He remained in the team for the 2001 FIFA Confederations Cup, taking part in the Socceroos' memorable victories over Mexico and Brazil. With Unterhaching in financial trouble, Zdrilic gained a release and signed on to English First Division side Walsall, where he was soon joined by fellow Australian Steve Corica. In a season restricted by a calf injury, he made 29 appearances in the league and cup, scoring 5 goals, including the only goal against Wimbledon in the FA Cup 4th round. In May 2003 he parted from the club, and after interest from other English sides and Norwegian side Brann, he signed to Scottish Premier League club Aberdeen on a 1-year deal, making an immediate impact with a goal 80 seconds into his debut in a pre-season friendly against Liverpool, and then again against Rangers in the league. Zdrilic went on to score 8 goals in all competitions, including the winner in a memorable win over Celtic, which ended Celtic's unbeaten home run of 78 games. After being linked with Belgian clubs Liers and Gent, as well as 1860 Munich, he returned to 2. Bundesliga with Eintracht Trier. While facing difficulties at Aberdeen, his elevation back to the top flight of a European league returned him to national team contention. He was selected for a number of friendly matches and rejoined the squad in May for the 2004 OFC Nations Cup, which also doubled as qualifiers for the 2006 FIFA World Cup. After a goal against Tahiti, he made 2 more appearances against Fiji and Vanuatu. As we enter this new phase, let's analyze return to Australia from different angles and evaluate its significance. His stay at Trier was short-lived, and returned to Australia with the launch of the league in 2005 to be part of the inaugural Sydney FC squad, signing a 3-year deal. Now back in Australia, he was included in a Socceroos side for a match on 29 March 2005 against Indonesia to benefit victims of the Boxing Day tsunami, scoring Australia's 3rd goal in what many have tipped as his last international match. He took part in 19 of Sydney's matches in their first season, mostly as a substitute, scoring once. In the second season he found more game time under Terry Butcher, scoring 4 goals from 20 appearances. Zdrilic remained at Sydney for the league season, in the final year of his original 3-year contract. A number of matches saw him being deployed in the backline and midfield. Many Sydney FC fans became critical of his performances, after netting just 5 goals in his first 2 years at the club. Despite his clear intentions to add to his tally in the season, Zdrilic failed to score in any competitive matches all year and was released by Sydney at the end of the season. The end of his stay with Sydney FC effectively marked the end of his career. In 2009, Zdrilic was approached by former teammate Ante Milicic to sign with his first professional club Sydney United, who play in the NSW Premier League. The team finished on the top of the table in the regular season but bowed out in semi-final. Zdrilic finished the season with 8 goals and announced his decision to retire after 15 years as a professional footballer. With our foundation established, it's time to explore coaching and its relevance to our overarching theme. While playing at Sydney United, Zdrilic took up his first coaching role coaching with former NSL champions, Heiko Sydney City East. In his maiden season as manager, Zdrilic guided the side to a semi-final berth, but declined the club's offer to extend his contract for a second season. The departure of Ante Milicic to a league expansion club Melbourne Heart opened the opportunity for Zdrilic to become the player manager at Sydney United. He spent 1 season in charge of the club before announcing his retirement as a player. Despite enjoying more success as manager, taking United deep into the finals series in his first season at Edensor Park, Zdrilic left the club to concentrate on his growing media career. He was succeeded at the club by Jean-Paul de Morigny, returning for his second stint in charge. Whilst away from the dugout, Zdrilic undertook a succession of coaching study tours in Europe, spending time at clubs such as Bayern Munich, TSG Hoffenheim, Hajduk Split and Dinamo Zagreb. In 2015, Zdrilic returned to the coaching ranks after being approached by Sydney FC to become the assistant coach of both the NSW first team, NYL team and the under-20 side. Both sides won their respective leagues in August 2016, meaning the club will participate in the New South Wales Pool in 2017 for the first time. The following season saw Zdrilic take over the Pool side as head coach whilst still remaining assistant coach to Robbie Stanton's Pool first team. In July 2017, he accepted an offer from reigning Bundesliga runners-up RB Leipzig to become the assistant coach of the club's under-17 team, currently led by former Stuttgart and TSG Hoffenheim striker Alexander Blessin. After a successful year with the Oos, the pair moved up to the Oos, which is the club's reserve team, feeding directly into the club's first-team Bundesliga side. I spent a month at RB Leipzig last year on a study tour watching how they did things as well as learning from Rolf Rangnick and the other coaches, Zdrilic said. I highlighted that I would like the opportunity to one day move over to Europe to coach. They were aware of my role with Sydney FC and my previous coaching and playing experience, which played a big part in Leipzig offering me the position. In January 2020, Zdrilic accepted an offer from Chicago Fire to become the assistant coach, where was credited with reforming the team's approach into a more pressing-oriented style. Zdrilic was linked with a move to then English Premier League club Sheffield United, but ultimately stayed with Chicago. In mid-2021, Zdrilic returned to Europe after accepting an offer to reunite with Alexander Blessin, who he coached under at RB Leipzig, to become the assistant coach at Belgian side Oostende. After impressing with their high-tempo style in Belgium, Blessin and Zdrilic were then poached by Italian Serie A club Genoa in January 2022, replacing the outgoing Andriy Shevchenko. The move made Zdrilic the first Australian to hold a coaching position at a Serie A side. In August 2023, he returned to Sydney FC, rejoining the club as an assistant coach to Steve Corica. In June 2024, Zdrilic was announced as the new head coach of a league club, Perth Glory. Let's now venture into the realm of media and explore the fascinating intricacies it holds. After being released from Sydney FC, Zdrilic started working as a football pundit for both Fox Sports and ESPN, as well as featuring on SBS and writing a column for Funks. He also took on a role as player relations officer for Professional Footballers Australia. Zdrilic continued to work in the media and co-hosted the now discontinued World Football News on One, and was a core part of the 2010 FIFA World Cup coverage on SBS, appearing regularly as an analyst. He then joined SBS exclusively, which sees him continuing his analytical role, as well as co-hosting the football entertainment show Thursday FC. Zdrilic soon moved into the hosting role full-time and began presenting the UEFA Champions League, Europa League and International Cup competitions. He then hosted the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil, which won a Logie for Most Outstanding Sports Coverage. He was also the host of STS's 4-year coverage of the league between 2014 and 2017. In 2018, Zdrilic was again a key figure in STS's coverage of the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia, where he presented live from matches around the country as well as expert analysis alongside Craig Foster and Lucy Zelic from STS's Moscow studio. Get ready for an exciting exploration as we unravel the mysteries of beach soccer. Since retiring, Zdrilic is a keen advocate for beach soccer and is a member of the Beach Socceroos. He has also captained the side. The Beach Socceroos travelled to Qatar in January 2013 for the Beach Soccer World Cup qualifiers. Despite having no lead-up practice matches and never before played together as a team, the Beach Socceroos narrowly missed out on a World Cup place, finishing 4th out of 16 teams. Only 3 World Cup spots were on offer. Zdrilic finished the tournament with 4 goals in 4 games. Zdrilic is an ambassador for one of the country's biggest international tournaments, the Australia Beach Soccer Cup, played annually in Wollongong. In the last tournament, Zdrilic scored 8 goals in 3 games, including 6 goals in a win over China. Australia won the tournament. With that being said, let's now move on to Club Season, League Cup, Continental, Other, Total Division, Apps Goals, Sydney FC, a League 19-1-5, a League 24-6-0, a League 12-0-5, Total 51-5-11-9-16. Appearances and goals by club, season and competition. As we enter this new phase, let's analyze international goals from different angles and evaluate its significance. Scores and results list. Australia's goal tally first. Score column indicates score after each Zdrilic goal. List of international goals scored by David Zdrilic. Get ready for a captivating exploration as we unravel the layers of honours and their profound significance. Australia Nations Cup 2004-2000. Sydney FC, a League Championship, Oceania Club Championship. Individual top scorer with Sydney United with 21 goals. Logie Award nomination for Outstanding Sports Commentator 2009. Your feedback helps me improve, so please take a moment to leave a comment or review.